My next guest is a pure delight, and I would say that even if she wasn't sitting to my right, wearing very bright clothing. Studio 666 or 666 will be available in theaters nationwide on February 25th. Her Touch Me tour. For more information on dates to buy tickets to go see her, WhitneyCummings.com/tour. Good to see you, Whitney Cummings.
Hi, I know I'm dressing crazy. I don't care anymore.
I love it.
All my friends are dying. I've only been wearing black. I've only been wearing black for the past 2 weeks going to funerals, so I figured I'd brighten it up.
I know. That's where I saw you last.
Last time I saw you, and I totally...
Bob Saget's funeral.
At Bob Saget's funeral, where I was completely lost because...
Yes.
You know, we were tight with Saget. Like, he would want us making crazy jokes. He would. And it was so weirdly serious. And all I could think about was the story that Bob told me once when we were in New York, where it's because Bob's got there's like 5 things in your brain that are like, this is the hardest I've ever laughed. He's got like 2 or 3 of my 5. One time we were in New York, and his sister had a horrible disease called scleroderma,
right.
which, deteriorates her skin. And we were in New York one time, and, he would do the charity event every year. We'd do stand-up at it. And I had ordered lasagna at the Bowery Hotel. And as I was eating it, he goes, "Hey, stop eating my sister."
Oh, my God.
It was one of those laughs where you have to go for a walk to collect yourself. Like one of those healing old wounds laughs.
He was unbelievable.
It would be that brutal.
Oh,
but then he also would be so dumb. I remember one time we were at some restaurant in Hollywood, and when you're done with eating, everyone just gets on their phone automatically, And I look over, and Bob had ordered a sundae or something, some dumb fruit sundae. And I look over, and he's typing on an actual BlackBerry, the berry. And I was like, Bob, what are you doing? And he had been doing it for 2 minutes. He was waiting for us to notice, and it was all mushed up in his hands. So I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm typing on my BlackBerry. And it was just so dumb.
The commitment to
it. The fact that he was just waiting for us to notice, and it was all bleeding all over his hands. But I really feel like the speeches were also so
right.
I feel like when you go to the funeral for someone that you love so much and the speeches suck, you're you're bombing, you're ruining it. They were great. Thank God,
They killed at the funeral.
Oh my God,
right.
Totally. Because I was we can't bomb this funeral for Bob. And it was so funny that his wife was like, yeah, Bob still doesn't know what I do for a living. And then his daughter had the funniest thing. One of his daughters was saying how him and Bob, or how her and Bob would go out in public, and he would point to random people and be like, "Aren't you glad that weirdo's not your dad? What if he was your dad? Are you glad you got me?" It's such a weird.
It sounded exactly what he would be like, and he was here just a few months ago, and
it's also just being a comedian at a funeral. Seeing you really grounded me because.
How did I ground you?
Well, because our instincts are to just say something inappropriate and disgrace the occasion, and just it happened in Florida a couple days before, and Nikki Glaser and I, we walked up to the coffin, and I don't think we. You don't realize it doesn't really hit you. It still maybe hasn't hit me, frankly. But
right.
We walked up to the coffin and put our hands on it, and I just whispered to her, "There's no way Bob's in here." There's no way Florida people got him here in 3 days, right? He's not in here, right?
He would have appreciated that, though.
Yeah, we were just kind of the only thing we can do right now is just pretend they didn't get him here, and there's just
the body supply chain somehow
okay, Orlando people got him here in 3 days. My luggage is still in Orlando from 2 months ago. I just feel he's not in here, and that's okay. We were just, it was the perfect mix, I feel of incredibly reverent, but also there was a warmth that was just
inspiring because Bob Saget, I got Whitney Cummings here on the Rich Eisen Show, and I think Bob would love the fact that we're talking about him here.
Yeah.
Is that he was so nice to so many people, and he really cared when he asked you about your family, and he really cared, and he really was just into that stuff. He geeked out on love and family, and then would say the most inappropriate stuff right on top of it. When he was here, he was talking about he was talking about I asked him about Rickles, and then he started telling a story about Rickles, but he mentioned his father once. He goes, "You remember my dad, right?" And I answered seriously, like, yeah, I remember your father. And it was just a setup from saying he remembers you had nice soft hands for him.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
and I'm like, wait a minute. So I wasn't supposed to seriously answer that question. I should just let you be the comedian. Like, that literally is what happened.
He's like, I'll get this. Yeah, it's just, it also was so, like, normally when I go to a funeral, and like, because when you're in pain and grieving, you're mad at everyone and need someone to blame, or you need to distract yourself from the grief by being like, why did that person wear this to the funeral? Like, why is this whore in a black mini skirt? You're just whatever. You hate everyone but it was like, this is how great Bob is, because that as soon as someone dies, everyone's their best friend. Like, all of a sudden they are going through their photos looking for the dead person they had a selfie with. Like, I'm like, how did you you found out that person was dead and instantly just went to your iPhone and started looking at the selfie of you two together to pretend you were best friends? But everyone at that funeral was like, was Bob's best friend, and it didn't even make me competitive. I was like, yeah, he is the kind of person that he was everyone's best friend within 2 minutes.
When you said whore in a miniskirt, I'm like, how dare you talk about Norman Lear like that? What has gotten into you?
It was also funny. Nikki Glaser was, we went together. She was cracking me up because a lot of people were carrying the coffin. Like, comedians, we are so out of shape. Like, watching all those comedians struggle with that coffin was embarrassing. Nikki was like, "Could we get the Dave Chappelle from 5 years ago that was on steroids?" I feel like we're not gonna get this casket in the ground, guys. Gosh. It was bad.
Whitney Cummings here on the Rich Eisen Show. So is you mentioning your grief? Is that why you're watching a lot of football?
You know what? I've been watching a lot of football. I almost went to the Rams game the other day. I'm only here to bully you for Super Bowl tickets. So do you think I need to do this show anymore? I mean, how many times do I come here? I don't know anything about sports. What I do want to know is that I'm touring, and everyone's worried about getting canceled. Like, comedians are all like, you get canceled if you say anything. I'm only worried about getting canceled by cities and states, because they don't forget. One time I was in Boston and I was at the Wilbur Theater, and I was doing a joke about how, like, every guy, when they watch sports, they wear a jersey, like, as if they're on the team. Like, you have to, like, I don't watch Grey's Anatomy and Scrubs. Like, I don't know why you need to wear, like, you're not getting drafted. Like, there's, like, when someone gets hurt, they're not going to call up and be like, hey, Chris, we need you, buddy. Are you in?
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm in the 300 level. I can make it down.
I'll be there. Hold on.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Every guy has a football in the back of their car, even at 45, like, just in case. Like, we're out of footballs, man. Can you grab that one from your trunk?
My golf clubs are literally in my trunk. I'm ready to go.
And so, basically, I was, like, telling a story about it. I was like, yeah, like, I said the Boston Patriots.
Oh.
Well, they used to be called that, though, right?
Yeah,
like, technically back in the Kennedy administration.
Way back.
Yeah. Okay. I know I look like Joan Rivers, but I'm not that old. It took me like 30 minutes to get the crowd back. It was bad. It was like, like, it really. But I've dated a couple Boston fans. One of whom, I was dating a Boston fan that when they were playing, I think it was when they got in the Super Bowl. Every time, you're the most suspicious fan, don't you think? Like, the superstitious, what do you call it?
Oh, superstitious.
Superstitious and suspicious of other teams, probably
That's
too,
what
and women.
Well, they're Boston. I mean, my God.
So every time they would win, for some reason, I would come in halfway through the game and, like, sit on the edge of the couch.
Oh, boy.
Like, because I'd only go in if they were winning, because we would break up every time they lose, so that was a lot of times. And so I would sit on the edge of the couch and they'd win. We break up the next year. Football season starts, and he's like, "Can you come sit
on the couch?"
I'm like, dude, we haven't spoken in a year.
Can we mark the just ending career of Tom Brady with how often you were on this couch and how you're like, because he won 6 Super Bowls there.
Do you feel like he's going to be remembered as like John McEnroe level, like just the guy who had a tantrum and threw his computer?
No, here's what we're going to remember him for.
Are you sure? I feel like you need another year to get that out of our head.
Here's what we were wondering about Tom Brady is what's the number of pounds he's going to gain in his first year out?
Oh God, how's this going to go? What's he going to do?
That's the question, because normally football players, when they're done playing, they just get huge. They're like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm done trying to train.
I hope we get some pics, some old tweets resurface. I want to go full disgrace. There's no way someone can stay a hero anymore. There's no way he's not going to drive a golf cart into a school bus. Like, there's no way. Who has successfully...
Giselle's going to smash the back windshield of his
No,
Escalade.
that's a different
Who
Florida
has
story.
successfully stayed, like, dignified? You know, I feel like a weird pic is coming out. I feel like some wearing fishnets... Chipotle is about to surface. I don't know what it's going to be. What's he going to do with this
I
time?
think that is his biggest scandal, is that he would be eating off of his diet.
Right.
Like that would be for
Because
him.
he's selling the clothing brand, so he still has to be kind
That's
of a
true.
model
That's
for
true.
the brand.
That's embarrassing.
point,
He's
though,
going
he
to be
has
on The
to eat
Masked
some way.
Dancer in 20 minutes. Let's be honest. This is going to go so south
By
so
the
fast.
way, my children would lose their freaking little minds if Tom Brady showed up on The Masked Dancer or Masked Singer.
He's
'Cause
going to
they-
humiliate himself somehow.
They think every single person in the history of The Masked Singer is the most famous person of all time.
I did The Masked Dancer.
And how'd that work out for you?
I was at the time on antibiotics and had long COVID, and I didn't know it was a children's show. And I was sexually harassing Brian Austin Green the entire time, to where they had to stop the show, and they were like, "There's like children in the audience. Like, you have to stop asking Brian Austin Green to like you have to stop." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't."
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
they were like, "Our demo is 8-year-olds."
Right.
And yeah.
So you had to
They're
tone
like,
it down
They're
a
like,
little
"We're
bit.
Disney. Can you stop? Like,
Yeah.
you already are only here because like 9 people couldn't make it. We're only here because all the men we
No.
wanted to hire got canceled for sexual assault."
My parents, me being the parent, my kids think that every single Masked Singer is either Barack Obama,
Okay.
LeBron James, or Beyonce.
The most famous people.
The most famous people. So I have told them if anybody's
no.
ever been revealed on the show, if they're ever Beyonce or any member of the Obama family, any
No,
member.
it's more like George Foreman, like Carrot Top.
When it puts you in a difficult bind when Tommy Chong is unmasked and your kids say, "What's he famous for?"
Killing daddy's brain cells in the 90s. Making daddy stupider.
Cannot wait for you to see Up in Smoke one day, but today's not that day. You know,
I remember there was have you done a roast? You've been on a bunch of roasts, because we were on one together, right?
We
With Steve
did.
Tisch.
We did the Steve Tisch
That's
roast
right.
one night,
That's
which was
right.
just an absolute delight. And I have Jeff Ross invites me to every single one of them,
Right.
For Comedy Central, and I'll attend as many as possible.
That's crazy.
You were at the Saget. Did you do the Saget
The Saget
roast?
roast, yes. I was a writer on the Saget roast, and that was the infamous roast when Norm Macdonald, also dead, went up. I'm really sort of like, I feel like it's just coming so hard
I
with
know
comedians and legends, you know. And then with Louis Anderson happening,
Oh, that's right.
Dan Mintz had a hilarious joke. He was like, Meatloaf died of COVID, and Louis Anderson died of meatloaf.
You got to roast the ones that you love,
I know.
right?
It's like we
That's
have to. It's the
pretty
only
funny.
way to sort of deal with grief. But
Yeah, I mean, that's what Jeff Ross was saying, that Saget died to knock Betty White off the pages. And he used a very awful, inappropriate word to describe Betty White that nobody ever uses. But
yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like it's been a wild time. And I went to the party afterwards, and we were just sitting in the back. Just the only way we could get through it is to be haters. We were like, which comedian is going to ruin this by being a malignant narcissist and making it about them? And
Who won? Yeah.
you can guess. I'll stay out of it.
oh gosh, this is now you got to guess the malignant narcissist.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, if they just mask it, that could be a show on Fox.
Yeah, exactly.
Masked malignant narcissist.
Masked
way,
narcissist.
Masked
Coming in
narcissist.
September.
Write it down.
I would watch that.
Let's pitch it.
Honestly, I
You've
would
got
watch
a
that.
lot of contacts in this town.
Coming in September.
So tell me about this film with the Foo
The
Fighters.
Foo Fighters are
in this.
doing a horror comedy movie, and it's like sort of just like we're at a time where every movie now is like trying to tell you how to vote or lecture you on like morality or tell like it's just I don't know, when as a comedian I signed up to just be a scumbag. Like I don't want to have to be your hero and be your moral compass, you know. So I just, whenever a project comes along that's just like, this is all just like, you know, just completely for entertainment and entertainment alone. I was reading
Right.
the script and I said no actually initially because there was a scene where I had to sing a heart song in front of the entire band. Like
front
I
of
play
Dave Grohl?
I play like the neighbor Encino horror straight offer, like groupie that is obsessed with just sleeping with all of them and trying to get in their band. So I'm like, go up to them and I'm like, do you need a backup singer? Like, and I start singing a heart song in front of them. And then the day of, they were like, oh, it turns out we can't get the license the song in time, so we're just going to have you sing Everlong by the Foo Fighters. And I was like, you want me to sing a Foo Fighters song in front of all the Foo Fighters? Like, it was, because also it's like me, they're like, oh, Whitney's going to be bad at singing, it's going to be so funny. It's not funny, it's like sad. Like, people like feel sorry for me. It's like, it's not funny, it's like, is she okay? Like, and so I'm singing a Foo Fighters song, like looking at Pat Smear in the eyes and being like, this is my actual nightmare. Like singing, Is
this the horror in
to
the
my
film?
heroes? Yeah. And then I get murdered in a very satisfying way. For all of you Reddit people that hate me, you're gonna love me getting murdered in this movie. And I got to have some sex scenes with a Foo Fighter. So.
Hey, that is what's called a bucket list for some.
Yeah, and I had like a lot of Sutter Home before it, so I looked convincing.
Studio 666 available in theaters nationwide. You are in it. Will Forte's in it too.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
cool,
a
man.
crazy cast, and Dave Grohl like gets possessed and murders all the bandmates. It's like amazing.
I mean, if Dave Grohl asks you to do something, the answer is
You
of course.
show
right?
up.
Of
Yeah,
course.
it's the best, and he's so funny, and I don't understand why.
Okay.
I'm like, is this a Scientology thing? Why are you so funny and so nice and so talented? This is fishy.
He's not a Scientologist.
No,
is he?
I don't think so. But it's just like suspicious when someone's like good at everything and cool.
You're like, wait a second.
Yeah, it can't
Yeah.
be real. It can't be real.
Yeah.
And the Touch Me tour.
No one sexually harassed me. It was very insulting. Touch Me tour. Yes, I'm touring all around the country and just trying to not screw up the team names because I'm going to lots of like random cities. Because I definitely booked 60 cities, assuming like half would cancel because of COVID. So
and none of them
none of
have?
them canceled, and I'm like, oh god, I have to do
overbooked.
these. But yeah,
great.
so I'm doing like 3-4 cities a week and trying to get back out there and do comedy again.
And people are ready to.
The people,
rock, right?
it's so
People are
done.
ready
Like
to-
comedians are such brats. We're such babies. We're like, no one lets us say anything. That we have to do comedy for people in masks. It's like we'll complain about sugar cookies and hot pockets. Like they're just ignore us. Ignore our
What's
whining.
a complaint on a hot pocket?
Like,
now? Come
remember?
on.
Well, was that Jim Gaffigan had a whole thing about hot pockets, right? I think.
course.
Yeah, like we'll and Gary Goldman complains about sugar cookies. Like, there's nothing we will not blow out of proportions. Chris knows he's married to one.
Well,
That's the way it goes.
that's right. Are you married to one?
No, not
Okay,
technically.
just want to make sure.
Okay, yeah, no, it's
I
not.
just need to know where
I mean,
the
we're
register
with
is.
child and own a house. It's
Right,
like-
yeah, this is the one thing you can hold on to.
That's pretty much it.
one thing you're going to hold out on.
Where do I get that outfit?
A garbage can near you,
No,
a
if I-
gutter,
honestly, like,
outside Carrot Top's show in Vegas.
It's like Raggedy. It's like Raggedy Ann.
I
like,
think you get it at the AIDS quilt outlet. I don't know. What is this?
I didn't know that such a thing existed.
Is that a good fantasy team name?
Look,
my- no.
weed is now legal in California, and YouTube stars are designing merch, and this is what happens. So I think we need to make it illegal again.
Are you gonna fight Jake Paul next?
You know what? I might.
By the way, that I would never really spend a lot of money on a fight, but I would pay.
I
to see
could
that.
win emotionally. Physically, I don't know. I mean,
How would you
I just-
emotionally win over Jake
I'm
Paul?
just that's manipulating men is my Daytona. Are you watching Cheer? Are you guys into cheerleading? Are you not allowed to watch that?
What do you mean?
Like professional cheerleading, Navarro. It's this awesome. Are any of your daughters in cheer?
No.
No.
Not at all.
It's this. My new favorite sport is cheerleading.
What's the
and
sport in it?
It's what's that?
What's the sport?
Well, it's gymnastics and it's
Right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is
It's
that
a show?
are we not?
Is it a
Everyone's
TV
just
show?
worried about getting canceled. They're like, we don't watch girls in tiny things
that's
jump
not-
around.
That's not at all.
It's
Excuse me, not at all.
But I'm saying, I thought
just-
cheerleaders. I thought it was like a sexual thing, but like these girls are like hardcore gymnasts and they're
Yeah.
like doing crazy stuff.
I totally get that,
I
but I
just-
did not know that it was like televised
is it a
and
program? Is it on
competitive.
script?
Cheer.
Scripted
No
show?
one knows cheer.
Is it a scripted show or just?
It's an unscripted show about the best cheerleading team in the country, the best, and it's made by the guys that did Last Chance U, not Lance.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So
It's
all right, that's
really
good.
cool. It's like that's my new thing. I did not just fart. This is why do you
No,
put
but-
guests in a leather chair?
I
This
don't
is
know.
So,
That's-
it's just
I didn't
so
hear that. I
rude.
thought, is there an
I mean,
earthquake or something?
Jesus Christ.
So the only cheerleading stuff I know is what Yellow Jacket now, right? Isn't that
Oh,
the
Yellow Jackets
Well,
the
that
show?
was soccer.
Oh, that's
But
soccer?
yeah.
All right. I thought they were cheerleader. I didn't know. Oh, my bad. I had no idea.
I'm slowly getting into it, but I feel like those cheerleaders should go into the NFL, don't you think? Or does the NFL just want kind of
I don't know. I don't think that when the cheerleaders and gymnastics in the NFL are known for their gymnastic maneuvers.
I mean, they're barely.
And in college, they're that's serious business.
Serious
college,
business.
they got pyramids and they flip them in the air and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
in the NFL, they just get them out of rehab and just for the day. And
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That I'm unaware of.
I don't know if we're allowed
They
to
just
say
give
that.
them some Adderall and sort of see what happens.
Go out there on the field.
My God, what are you watching on television? It's insane.
I'm telling you, I feel like football would be even more fun if they got the Navarro cheerleaders to be like, why don't they have professional cheerleaders flying around in between?
Flying around in
Yeah,
between.
wouldn't that be cool?
That would be great.
That would be great.
Let's start Super Bowl 56.
But there
Let's
are
run that up.
cheerleaders.
That's how you're going to get free
do it.
tickets.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Instead, you have these sloppy TikTok stars on the side.
Studio 666 available in theaters nationwide on February 25th. WhitneyCummings.com/tour to see Whitney on tour. The Touch Me tour. Good to see
The
you.
Touch Me tour, yeah, and thanks. It was just so good to see you at that funeral, and I was like, oh, I just want to come on and say hi to you guys.
know, it
I
was
feel like I
kind
always
of-
come on here and bomb, but I just
You
keep
were
asking.
I think you're the first guest in our now 8 years of this show that's come on because I saw you at a funeral.
Oh.
And I think
It's so true.
I think Bob Saget, may he rest in peace, and we look up and see him. I think he would be very pleased about
Awesome.
this.
I agree. And I
would
think
agree.
that he would, be so honored that all of his friends love each other so much. And he's, I mean, this is what had to happen for people to talk about him on television. It'd be
Otherwise,
psyched. He's getting more press than ever.
I know. Good to see you.
You too. I love you.
I'm
Thanks,
right
guys.
back at you at Whitney Cummings on Twitter and Instagram right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.